So welcome friends. So in this video tutorial we are going to see some of the questions which is on the topic of carbohydrate, and these questions are very helpful for those one who are preparing for the Central Food Safety Officer examination and Technical Officer examination of FSSAI. So let's see one by one those questions. The first question here is on the screen is that carbohydrates are commonly represented by the empirical formula. If you see the empirical formula, that is the structural formula, that is what? CN. The general structure of a carbohydrate is what? CnH2ON. Means what? This CHO molecule is present at the ratios of 1:2:1. So among of the questions, among of the option, if you see, there are 4 options are there. So the right answer is what? CnH2ON. Here in the case, the first option is the right option. The next question. So which structural feature differentiates the aldose from ketoses? Okay. First option, presence of a hydroxyl group. Option B, position of a carbonyl group. Option C, number of carbon atom. And option D, presence of glycosidic linkages. If you differentiate the aldoses and ketoses, that is aldehydic sugar and ketonic sugar is differentiated based on their functional group. If you see, the aldoses has the aldehydic as a functional group, whereas ketose sugar or ketonic sugar has the ketonic group as a functional group within their structure. So these functional group are also known as what? Carbonyl group. Okay, so they are differentiated among each other based on their what? Carbonyl group. So third question here on the screen is the, in monosaccharides, the classification into trioses, tetroses, pentoses and hexoses is based on what? If you see the classification of monosaccharides, it is primarily based on their sugar molecules or the number of sugar molecules. Number of carbon atoms. So the right answer for this question is the number of carbon atom. Okay, so based on which monosaccharide are classified as trioses, tetroses, pentoses, hexoses, heptoses. Okay, if you see the trioses, glyceraldehyde is there. For tetroses, erythrose is there, threose is there. For if you see the pentoses, ribose sugar is there. For hexoses, various kinds of monosaccharides are there like glucose, fructose, galactose. Next question. So the fourth question, all naturally occurring monosaccharides in biological system generally belongs to which series? The options are, is it L series, is it D series, is it racemic series, or is it alpha series? So based on all of these options, if you see, all naturally occurring sugars, they are what? Present in what? D form. Okay, which form? That is dextrorotatory. We call it as to a D glucose, D fructose, like those one. Okay, so the right option is the second option, that is D series. So the next question, okay, which of the following disaccharide contains 2 glucose molecules? The options are lactose, maltose, sucrose. The fourth one is what? Raffinose. Okay, so among of these, if you see, lactose is composed of 2 sugar unit, that is glucose plus galactose. Maltose, it is composed of what? 2 glucose unit. How many glucose unit? 2 glucose unit. And sucrose, which we also call it as a table sugar, it is composed of 2 sugars, primarily glucose along with fructose. And last one option, that is raffinose, which is a oligosaccharide, which is composed of what? 3 sugar molecule, that is glucose, fructose and galactose. So among all of these, maltose is the right answer as it is composed of 2 glucose units. So next question, that is question 6. Here you can see that maltose is formed by which type of glycosidic linkages. So glycosidic linkages means what? Linkages that is caused that cause the bonding of the two of the disaccharide unit or two of the sugar molecule. So those kind of bond we call it as what? Glycosidic linkages. Among all of the option, if you see the first option, beta 1,6 glycosidic bond, option B, is it alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond, option C, beta 1,4 glycosidic bond, option D, alpha 1,2 glycosidic bond. If you see the maltose sugar, it is composed of which sugar molecule? 2 glucose molecule. And these 2 glucose molecules are what? They are both they are what? Aldehydic sugar. And they are bonded by the alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkages. Next question, sucrose is classified as a non-reducing sugar because option 1, it contains only fructose, both anomeric carbon participate in the glycosidic bond. Option C, it cannot dissolve in water. Option D, it contains no oxygen. If you see the non-reducing sugar is that kind of sugar which is not a free in nature because its functional group is involved in the glycosidic linkages. If you see the sucrose molecule, it is composed of 2 sugar. One is what? Aldehydic sugar, that is glucose, and another one is what? Ketonic sugar, that is fructose. So both of these sugar molecules is involved in the glycosidic linkages with their what? Functional group. Okay, say for example the glucose molecules aldehydic group is involved in the glycosidic linkage, and ketonic group which is present on the second carbon atom of fructose molecule is involved within the what? Glycosidic linkages. Okay, so the right answer is what? That both anomeric carbon, that is the functional group, that is aldehydic and ketonic group of the sugar molecule, that is sucrose, is what? Participated in the glycosidic linkages. Okay, so the B is the right answer. Okay, so we'll move to the next question. Eighth question, oligosaccharides such as raffinose and stachys cause intestinal gas formation because they, option 1, are toxic to intestinal cells, are not digested in the human small intestine, are rapidly absorbed in the stomach, are converted directly to the glucose. So out of which if you see, so the oligosaccharides are the sugars, particularly raffinose, stachys and vergastose. They are not directly digested within the human body because of why? Our body lacks this such kinds of enzymes, particularly which enzyme? That is alpha galactosidase. So due to the absence of these enzymes, these kinds of sugar will not going to get absorbed into the human body. So because of which there will be the leading a condition, that condition we call it as flatulence, because of which these oligosaccharide will not going to get digested within your human body. The right answer is that are not digested in the human small intestine. Okay, the next question, that is question 9th. Amylopectin differs from amylose mainly because amylopectin is what? Option A, is it contain beta glycosidic bond? Is it contain fructose in it? Is it contain branched chains through alpha 1,6 linkage, or has no glycosidic bond? So if you see the amylopectin, which is what a premier or one of the molecule of which starch is what? Composed of. Okay, if you see the amylose is what? A linear chain which is entirely composed of glucose unit, whereas amylopectin is a branched molecule. It is composed of, though it is composed of glucose molecules, but rearrangement of these glucose linkages are what? Branched one. That is, they are composed of what? Which linkages? That is alpha 1,4 and also alpha 1,6. So the right answer of this question is that it is composed of branch chains to which linkages? That is alpha 1,6 linkages. Next question. That is 10th question. That is okay. So which polysaccharide forms gel structure in a food system? Option A, is it amylopectin? Is it amylose? Is it glycogen, or is it cellulose? If you see the gel structure, that is formation of a gel, that is primarily caused due to the one of the prime polysaccharide. We call that polysaccharide as to be what? Starch, as it is composed of two major biomolecules, that is amylose and amylopectin. As amylose is what? It is linear chain, that is composed of a similar glucose molecule in a linear fashion, and because of which amylose has much more solubility or much more absorptivity for the water molecule when starch suspension is get heated. Okay, so during which amylose going to get amylose is going to get participate in the gelatinization reaction. So the right answer here in the case is the amylose, which plays an important role in gelatinization process. Along with gelatinization, amylose also play very important role in the retrogradation process, which is what? Opposite to the gelatinization process. So this is to be all about 10 question on the topic of a carbohydrate. If you want to stay tuned like such a kinds of questions, so you have to enroll for our course, which is on Central Food Safety Officer and Technical Officer examination. So you can visit to our domain, and we have our admin to which you can contact for the further information. Thank you.